Hi guys, and welcome back to LPB Racing for the WEC Replica Championship on GT Sport. We are ready for a start here at Monza for race 2 of round 5, and we're just going to run through the grid with you for this one. So seat 1 takes pole position in the Division 2 LMP1 category. So seat 1 on pole from Rodders second, Techno gets a well-deserved third, fourth for Stacker, and Firepower struggling in qualifying there in his Porsche. And then in GTE Division 1, it is Bidzster on pole, so Bidzster takes pole position for that one, so an extra point for him. Callum second, Jamo gets third in the Nissan, fourth for Task 1, Neil in 10th, and TY not setting a lap time in qualifying in 11th place. So without further ado, let's get on with the race then and see what happens here. So let's get the telemetry up so we can see what's happening with everyone as we wait for the start to this race. Red light on, green, and away we go. Good start with everyone. Callum, a fantastic start in the Corvette in the other class, but it's seat 1 in the lead from Rodders. Stacker, Techno and Firepower down towards the first corner. Rodders on the inside of seat 1, trying to take advantage. Let's just double check the cameras. Yep, we're all fine. And seat 1 takes the lead from Rodders. It's Stacker in third, Techno fourth, Firepower. Callum ahead in GTE by quite a length from Jamo. Task 1, Bidzster's gone back down to 9th because obviously the Porsche not a very good car off the line. Meanwhile, the LMP1's then into the chicane. Rodders up the inside of seat 1, gets up the inside and gets the build, just about gets the position. Little tap from seat 1, but Rodders in the lead then in the Durex car. Team Marlboro Porsche down to second and third, and then it's Firepower up the inside of Techno into the first Lesmo, and Techno just keeps around the outside. Callum 6th in the Corvette, then it's Jamo. Task 1 under attack from Bidzster there in the Porsche. Task 1 makes a mistake there, and Bidzster seizes the opportunity, goes straight through. Task 1 goes back into the hands of Neil, who I don't think he can still see. And then we've got TY just behind them. As we look at the LMP1s then up to the Ascari chicane. Rodders from seat 1 from Stacker is still the order. Stacker going well here. He likes Monza, he loves it because it was on the F1 games and he's familiar with the track, which obviously track knowledge is a big help. It's a big help as Firepower goes a bit wide there, and then behind Techno. And let's have a look at the leaders then. So Rodders seat 1 is the order, drafting each other. Obviously got to worry about fuel as well, but not as much with the LMP1 hybrids. Meanwhile, GT then Callum obviously going into fuel save mode a bit earlier because the gap's gone down between him and Jamo. And Bidzster now catching up as well. Task 1 with Neil and TY all over it. TY passes him down the straight. Down towards the first chicane. Meanwhile, up front we've got Jamo closing right in on Callum. There we go. And then further back, Task 1 still fends off TY. TY can't get through yet, but Task 1 goes a bit wide, but gets away with it. Back to LMP1 then. Rodders from seat 1 still with the order. Stacker goes a bit wide at the chicane, but just outbreaks himself, goes in a bit too deep and loses a bit of time. But apart from that, goes through all good. Firepower in 4th, starting to close on Stacker now. And then Techno further back. Meanwhile, there's Callum into the chicane in the Corvette, followed by Jamo. Bidzster, Task 1 goes wide and has to cut the chicane, but then it resets him. So Task 1 back down to last place then. So TY gets another position thanks to the Task 1's off and the warp reset. But so TY up a place, and then Neil down to 10th. As Callum's gone off, he's gone a bit too hard into the corner, probably lost the back end. So the handle on that Corvette around this circuit not helping him at all. As you go down towards the Ascari then, and then up, Jamo goes up the inside of Callum. Will Callum try and fend him off? Jamo's on the inside, Callum not giving up, but Callum has to give best to Jamo, who takes the lead in the Nissan, in the independent Nissan. So well done to Jamo, who's in the lead for now. So Jamo in the lead from Callum, and then Bidzster third in the Porsche, right behind him. Nice to see 3 different manufacturers at the top. Nissan, Chevrolet, Porsche. Let's go around Parabolica then. Oh, Jamo and Callum kicking up the dust. Bidzster closes in. Jamo really wide there. Where is he going? He's auto-crossing on that dirt on the outside. Madness, as Rodders still in the lead then from seat 1 up front. Stacker's fallen a bit further back. Fastest lap for seat 1, 36.2, and 36.2 for Rodders. So 10 thousandths of a second between the top two, and I think the gap's about to be that as well, because the seat 1 closes right up through the first Lesmo and at the chicane. as Rodders goes wide. Rodders has binned it. Rodders bins it, goes wide, and Seat 1 takes the lead yet again in Division 2 in the Porsche Marlboro team. Rodders in the not so sticky Jorex tyres down to second, and then Stacker in third. Firepower though's got some super sticky Jorex tyres, he's in fourth. So he's about to be third. He's right behind Stacker. He's pulling out to have a little look just to try and put him under pressure. It's a bit far back. He goes into the corner and can't quite get it yet. Techno closes up. Meanwhile, GTE got Callum ahead of Jamo, and then Bidzster right behind Jamo. So Callum takes back the lead and Jamo back down a second. Bidzster in third. TY fourth, trying to catch his teammate up. Adrian Flux sponsorship on the Porsche this time rather than a banana like last time. So Neil Farmack in 10th and TAS 1 all the way back in 11th. Not doing very well here, TAS 1. Look at the leaders there. Obviously not having to save as much fuel because it's Monza. But better on average fuel consumption here. Yes, it is quite a big fuel consumption, but at least it's an average fuel consumption. So out of that corner they go. And then so in the leaders then, Seat 1 fastest lap of the race, 1:35.4. compared to Rodders' 1:38.8 because he made a mistake. 38.4 for Stack, 38.4 for Firepower as well, and Techno 36.9. Yeah, so Techno closing up on these lot here. So it looks like LMP1's about ready to have some good battles as well. But meanwhile, Jamo closes right upon Callum again. So Jamo and Callum got roughly about the same fuel load. Bidzster's got a bit more fuel saved as you go into the chicane. Then the first corner, Callum maintains the lead so far, but you've got to think, is he going to save more fuel in that Corvette? Remember, the pit window is in between 12 and 16. There's Bidzster in third place, TY a lonely fourth now, and Neil trying to keep up with him, and then TAS 1 after that mistake the previous lap all the way back down in third position. Look at laps, in 11th position. So Rodders then trying to look at Seat 1's lead now, pulling out a right lead here. Seat 1 might be on for a fastest lap of the race here as we look at Firepower and Techno. Then Techno's right behind Firepower here down the back straight. Will Techno have a go into Parabolica? He moves out to the left, to the right. Is he going to have a go under brakes? I don't think he's going to be close enough. No, he's not. Firepower maintains the place into the corner, runs a little bit wide but gets away with it. Straighten the car out, use the hybrid of that Porsche to get some good acceleration. Stacker then goes through in third. I thought he was going to pit then, but it looked a bit of a weird line. But Firepower down the straight then with Techno right behind him. Will Techno go for the move? Moves out to the right, moves back to the left, just trying to put him under pressure. Then on to the brakes we go. Brake, 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 brake. Oh, did he hit the back of Firepower there? I don't know, but I think Firepower very late on the brakes there. Closes right up to Stacker and gets on the power. Firepower presses the power and goes out of the corner right behind Stacker, trying to close in on him. Up towards the second chicane, round Curva Grande, this long sweeping right-hander up towards the second chicane, and Firepower brakes a bit early, a bit of a chicken on the brakes there, but then Techno trying to get round him, can't quite do it, gets close but no cigar, and then goes through the gravel at the end, so all places remain the same for now. Meanwhile in GTE then it's still Callum from Jamo, but look at Callum's fuel, it's a bit less than the others. He's on about half, Jamo's just above half, and Bidzster's saving the best fuel. But remember, that Porsche is quite good on fuel, but TY's used a lot of fuel in this one, so Bidzster doing well on the fuel saving point here, so we'll have to see what happens here. We go up Curva Grande, let's have a look back to the leading to the LMP1 class. It's Firepower. Techno's gone a bit further backwards here, he's making a few mistakes, he's gone wide, just needs to wind in the pace a bit just to try and get a bit of consistency back. Meanwhile, Seat 1 goes on to lap 6. Let's have a look at his lap time. He's averaging 35s, and then Rodders is averaging 36s, so he's definitely pulling away from Rodders here. Stacker 37.6 was his fastest, and now it's a 37.1. Firepower does a 37.3 and a 39.2 for Techno because of that mistake, so lucky for him. Firepower catches up to the back of Stacker then, so Stacker's starting to struggle here a little bit, I think, but Firepower's used a lot more of his tyres than Stacker has anyway, so we'll have to see how that goes, but that might be a bit of a developing battle later on in the race. As we look back to Bidzster then, trying to catch up to Jamo, so a bit more spread out in the GT ranks. Callum putting his foot down then, 47.7 last time round, so averaging to the 10th of a second. Jamo in the 48s and Bidzster 49.6 last time, so a big mistake from Bidzster somewhere. So Jamo and then TY at 49.1, so Porsches don't look to have the pace here, so let's have a look at the lap times when they cross the line this time. As Callum crossed the line, 48 dead, 49.4 for Jamo, 48.1 as best lap of the race for Bidzster, so Bidzster starting to push a bit more now. See what he can do. Obviously he's slightly out of drafting range, I think, as we go onto the brakes, down through them gears, bouncing off the rev limiter. Let's have a look back at Firepower and Stack then, because they're still very close on track. 37.1 to a 37.3, close lap time. Firepower in the draft now, Stacker going down. So Stacker's at 175 and Firepower's already up to 190, that's how much the draft gives you. And then out of Parabolica, use the hybrid energy. We'll look at the speedo, we'll go straight from 120, 130, 140, 150 straight away because of the hybrid power. Then you get to about 150, 160 mile an hour and the hybrid stops, and then it's all internal combustion engine power from there. Still 500 horsepower in these internal combustion engine units, and the hybrid unit gives it up to about 1,000 horsepower roughly when it puts both down at once. So really awesome power in these things. The Stacker goes a bit wide there but gets away with it just about. Very close to disaster there because that curb on the outside, and if you put the power down on it, it really does bite. So you've got to be really careful here as Firepower looks like he might be setting up for a move, so we'll just stay with him briefly. As you go up to the second chicane, he's up the inside. No, brakes early again. Just chickens out of the move. Go out the second chicane, get on the power, both still very close to each other. And look at Jamo trying to close up to Callum, no look there as TY closing up to the back of Bidzster, but look at Bidzster's fuel compared to TY. TY's just under a third of a tank and Bidzster's just over a third of a tank as he goes a bit wide there but gets away again just about. So a few little mistakes here from Bidzster, so clearly he's got to the limit of what that Porsche can do, and he's just got to try and steer within the limits now of it. As we cross the line, let's have a look at the lap times. 48.5 for Callum, 47.9 for Jamo. So Jamo's turning up the wick a bit. Fuel going down. So Jamo deciding to turn up the wick a bit because he's got a bit more fuel left. TY's past Bidzster, so I wonder if Bidzster let TY through there. I would imagine he would have because they were on the straight. So Bidzster clearly thinking that TY's got the best speed at the minute and just wants to wants his teammate to pull him along a bit. So good team tactics here from the Team Arc squad. As we go up to the next chicane, TY ahead of him. To the brakes. To the chicane, TY, oh, very deep in, big slide. Bidzster closes right up, so I don't know if TY is faster here, because TY, I think, is struggling for pace as well as Bidzster. So the two Porsches then struggling for pace round here as TY makes another mistake. It goes a bit wide there, so clearly trying to push hard to try and help his teammate out, but I don't think anything's working as they go down the straight then. And TY is going to let Bidzster go through again. I think he might be. Yes, he is. Bidzster resumes the third place then, so TY clearly not thinking he had the pace to pull away, so Bidzster now sets the pace of the two Porsches. We're having a nice decent battle with each other here, so almost side by side, nose to tail, but TY I think is quite content to stay behind Bidzster here, but I think TY might be going for a two-stop strategy, so that could explain why he let him through, but because of the fuel difference, but we'll have to see here. Yeah, as TY slides out that corner, clearly pushing hard to try and keep with his teammate. Across the line they go in each other's draft. Meanwhile, the LMP1 boys are coming up to lap traffic here, so Seat 1's already lapped Task 1. Here comes Rodders to lap him as well. Rodders about to lap Task 1 there. Stacker and Firepower still in the same order and still nose to tail, so a good little decent battle happening up here for third and fourth in the LMP1 category in Division 2. So obviously Division 1 is the faster guys, Division 2 is the guys with a bit less pace, and Division 1 in the first race go in the LMP1s and Division 2 in the second race go in the LMP1s, so we do switch between as Seat 1 now closes up onto the back of the two Porsches, so Porsche catches up on Porsche. They go out that corner, Seat 1 will get a good run here, he might try and get past one of them, yes he does on the inside, but that compromises TY's line a little bit though. Got to be careful not to compromise the lines because the GTE guys get right of way and he gets past Bidzster a lot better, so TY's lost some time to his teammate there, so Seat 1's got to be careful with lapping the cars. As Rodders then goes to O'Neill, I think that might have been impeding as well, so we'll have to be careful about that. That could be some penalties landing for the next race if people aren't careful, as Firepower and Stacker then start to come up to lap people, as Callum then in the lead of GTE goes through, and he's a bit lower on fuel now, so these guys getting lower on fuel. So 2-stop races could be imminent here. There's pit windows between 12 and 16, so we'll have to see what people do. As Techno's off! Techno's off! So Techno's gone off back there, so I don't know whether that was assisted or not. We'll get a replay. Okay, here's a replay what happened to Techno. So you see he makes a little mistake out of that corner there, and then he goes into the second Lesmo and then just carries way too much speed onto the gravel and spins it round, hits the wall, and then reverses across the track to try and get out of the way in case anyone's coming, and then find first gear, and then off he goes. As we look back then, seat 1 behind Jamo and Callum then. So seat 1 behind Jamo and Callum. And then I think the GTE boys headed for the pits. Yes, they are. Fuel's a problem, so Callum's into the pits. So's Jamo. Bidzster and TY both follow each other in as well. So all the GTE boys going for 2-stop strategies. So they're all in the pits here, so battling the pit lane. Neil Farmack will pit this time. Stacker and Firepower both go through. Will Neil Farmack come in? He's going to go round, I think. Neil Farmack goes round. Task 1 can go round as well, so Task 1's actually saved more fuel than the others for a change. Wow, how times change. Seat 1 from Rodders then, and then it's Stacker and Firepower down to the first corner. Stacker's still ahead of Firepower though. Then out the pits, Neil Farmack ahead, and Task 1, then it's a battle out the pits here. It's going to be Callum who's out first. Callum's out first, Bidzster's around here somewhere, Bidzster out second, TY third. Is it? I'm just getting a bit confused here of the order, let me just double check. So Neil Farmack in the lead of GT from Task 1, they've not pitted. Yes, then that's it, then it's Jamo, sorry, Jamo ahead out the pits. So he's put a little bit less fuel in if you look there. Just a little bit less fuel to try and get out in front and maybe save some more. Callum then in second in class, third is Bidzster, fourth is TY. As Techno goes up to lap Callum, after making that mistake earlier. Now he's going to lap Jamo. Should be able to get him on hybrid power out of here quite easily, or maybe, oh, he goes on the gravel though and the grass. We'll be careful there. He's going to have to stay behind him now. Around the Lesmos. Stacker and Firepower still having a decent battle here up front. Seat 1. And then Rodders. Seat 1 saved a lot of fuel here, so it might be a quick turnaround for Seat 1 as well. I think Seat 1 definitely belongs in the Division 1 category now, because he's really come along this season. He's got some really good pace. So Seat 1 looks like definitely heading towards promotion here next season, or for the next multi-class season that we do. Rodders in second place then. Rodders doing very well in his category as well. Second place for him. Stacker then a brilliant third, ahead of Firepower still. So still these two won't leave each other alone in this race. As Firepower goes for the move now, goes to the outside, goes to the inside, but breaks early again, chickens out the move. Come on Firepower, if you're going to do the move, go for it. Break a bit later, be a daredevil. As we look at Techno, then he's just locked past the GTE boys, so they've all passed the GTE ones now. So Task 1 in the lead for GTE, then he's not pitted yet, neither is Neil Farmack, so they'll be nearer the back when they're done. Then it's Jamo, who definitely has pitted. He's definitely going for it in this one, because obviously remember the pit window is up to lap 16. So these boys, they might have put full tanks in, but they're going to be absolutely draining them, as you can see here. TY's ahead of Bidzster then, so Bidzster's let TY through again, or he's passed him on track, so don't quite know what's happened there, but we'll get a replay on it. Here's what happened between Bidzster and TY then, for TY to take his teammate. So Bidzster goes around here, and then just goes a bit wide, and then TY just actually gets a nice overspeed, and then just passes his teammate quite easily there. So TY passes his teammate on track. As we come back from that then, so Bidzster and TY then running line astern. Callum trying to keep up with Jamo, using up the fuel, because obviously they might as well use it up until the end of the pit window, then put more in for the end of the race. Because remember, the GTE boys will probably only end up doing about 24-25 laps because of the LMP1 pace. As Jamo then defends from Callum, because Callum gets a good run. They're catching up to Neil, who's not pitted yet. He's on a lot more dead tyres as well. So Neil Farmack might have to subdue to the others here. And Task 1 just ahead, he's on red fuel, so he'll be coming in this lap. I would imagine Neil will follow him maybe, or maybe do another lap, but Jamo's right behind him now. Battling for position, but I don't think Neil Farmack's going to defend it too much, or is he? As Jamo looks to go up the inside of him into a Scary. Can he do it? Come on, camera. There we go. No, Neil Farmack stays ahead, so Callum catches up. These guys will be they'll be really wanting to get past him because he's slower and he's on older tyres. As he goes to the outside, Neil and Jamo side by side. Jamo on the outside on fresh tyres. He's passed him already before the corner as Neil Farmack decides to get rid of a little bit of a penalty into the corner, and Callum trying to go around the outside of him and does so. Brilliant stuff. It's very rare that you see a Corvette go around the outside of anyone, but the Corvette did it. Meanwhile, I think Task 1 is going to be in the pits. Yes, he is. Task 1's in the pits. Will Neil Farmack pit? No, he doesn't. He goes round again. So Neil Farmack trying to go a bit longer in this race. Maybe try and get to the pit window between 12 and 16. Because then he can pit once. So one stop strategy then looks like for Neil Farmack. But he's still got to go around this lap and then one more. Then he can do it. So still going to be close as Task 1 in the pit lane then putting more fuel in. Bidzster and TY still running nose to tail with TY the leading Porsche. Both doing identical lap times. So trying to get TY to pull him up to the others. Let's have a look back at LMP1 then. So let's have a look up at the front of LMP1. Seat 1 with an absolutely massive lead over the others. And obviously he's in his pit stop window now, but he's going around an extra lap. So Rodders looks like he might be pitting this lap. He's used up most of his fuel. Stacker might be as well, and Firepower, so they're still nose to tail. Techno trying to catch up. Again, he's low fuel as well, so this could be a possible pit stop time. So if Seat 1 goes round, so he's definitely going around on another lap. Rodders might call in. Yes, he is. Rodders is in. Stacker goes round and Firepower goes in. So Firepower trying the undercut. Stacker's going round. This will have to be a demon of an in-lap for Stacker to try and get this position, or even maintain the position, should I say. So tyres going on for Rodders. Tyres going on for Firepower. The two Jorex cars in the pits. Techno coming around the last corner. Jamo ahead of Callum. Jamo ahead of Callum in the lead of GTE then. Both pushing hard to try and use up the fuel. Callum looking to make a move. Looking left, looking right, looking left. He's trying to put the pressure on Jamo and down to the next corner. The Nissan is the most powerful car in the GTE, but obviously it just it weighs a bit more than the others as they both go a bit wide there, but get away with it. Techno's in the pits as they both go through. Neil Farmack is going to go round again because he needs to go round again to get to the pit window, so he's going to have to be a fuel saving lap here for Neil, but this could help him towards the end of the race. We'll have to see as both of the Porsches absolutely fly past him. So the two Porsches drafting each other, trying to help each other out, both past Neil, so that's the difference between full power and fuel saving. And it just shows you on that straight they left him standing like you're in a different class. So just shows you when you're fuel saving and you turn the engine down by about 80 horsepower, it makes a big difference. So Bidzster and TY then. TY using a lot more fuel than Bidzster here. Look at Jamo and Callum side by side into the next corner, almost side by side, should I say, with Jamo having the advantage into the corner. Callum trying to get a good run out. Will he have a look into the first Lesmo? No, he won't. Stay behind. Jamo defends slightly just to stop the inside from being took. Techno's behind. He should wait for this next straight to get past, and then we've got Callum with the hazards on. I'm not quite sure if he's aware if he's got his hazards on, but he's got them on anyway as we go down the straight. So Callum flashing the hazards, and then might be just to say that to Techno that he's seen him. Yes, they're off now, so good stuff there by Techno. And into the braking zone. Jamo from Callum, and then it's TY in. Oh, Bidzster must have gone. Mr. made a mistake. He's gone backwards. So Bidzster's gone off the back of this group, but makes a mistake, and now he's going to have to really push now to make up the time. Neil Farmack behind. He's coming into the pits this lap. He's definitely going to be coming into the pits this lap because he's not got the fuel to go around another one. And Task 1 further back in 11th place. Neil will be coming in this lap. Let's have a look at the LMP1 boys. Seat 1 coming out of Ascari, trying to get to the end of the pit window on fuel, so they didn't have to put as much in for a quicker stop. So good conservative run this for Seat 1, dominating stuff. And Stacker in second place. He's still going round. So he's still going round, Stacker. So this is going to be, well, he'll be able to put less fuel in for the remainder of the race, which will be good. But it's going to be risky with the fuel that's left and the tyres compared to the new tyres on Rodders and Firepower's. Because Firepower's gone backwards here. So or his Rodders gone backwards because I'm just trying to see the lap times here. I can't see much difference in the lap times, guys. So looks like Firepower then has caught up to Rodders, or Rodders has made some kind of mistake on his pit lap or something. But both very close to each other now. So let's see if Stacker can stay in front when he makes his pit stop. He'll be in this lap. He's not got the fuel to go around again, as his teammate will probably be in at the end of this lap because they're looking at his fuel. So Stacker into the pits then. Stacker into the pits for his mandatory pit stop. Rodders comes down to the last corner, so does Firepower. This is going to be close. So just while they're catching up to the last corner, let's have a look at the GT leaders then. Jamo in the lead from Callum, both using up the fuel to try and get to the end of the pit window. TY pushing, Bidzster pushing as well. So they're all pushing there. Let's see if Rodders and Firepower can catch up to Stacker here. So Stacker is still in the pits, he's still staying still. Firepower goes through then, so Firepower goes through, Stacker's going to be behind him. So there goes Stacker out the pits, and there's Firepower. So Stacker's lost time there with doing that exit on, he moves across the white line. So Stacker I'll be having a word with Stacker as well for that white line infringement there. So got to be careful with that. So you can't really get a penalty from it, but it's not really, we don't like people doing it because it affects, if someone else is coming past, then it's not really safe, and but it's ruled really. So Seat 1 in the lead then, he'll definitely be in this lap. Look at the fuel, definitely in this lap, running on vapour, just about going to get to the end. If he does another lap, I'll be very surprised, but I think he's going to come in. Yes, he is, he's in this lap just before he laps Bidzster again. So Seat 1 into the pits, then 1 litre of fuel left, perfectly judged for Seat 1. And then Rodders is only coming out the second Lesmo, so definitely going to resume his lead is Seat 1. So Rodders in second then, Firepower in third, Stacker in fourth. So Stacker's gone backwards a bit because of the pit stop, took a bit longer with more fuel, and also the in-laps were slower because he had worn tyres, and Firepower could get onto fresh tyres quicker. But Stacker has got more fuel towards the end, so this will be close towards the end of the race probably. As Techno in 5th, Jamo then in the lead of GTE from Callum and TY, and Bidzster's caught back up again now, so Bidzster's caught back up. So Bidzster 48.9 compared to his teammates 49.2, 150s for Callum and 49 for Jamo, so Bidzster the fastest of the GTE runners then so far. Neil Farmack is further back on the one-stop strategy, so Neil Farmack further back, but again that could play part later on in the race, but we'll have to see. So let's see if Stacker's closed up to Firepower anymore. I don't think so. So Rodders and Firepower still maintaining that gap. Stacker 139.8, still needs to get used to these new tyres. 37.3 for Firepower and a 36.4 for Rodders. Obviously Seat 1 last lap of 2:08 because he's only just come out the pits, but he were averaging 36s, 35s before, so very quick pace for Seat 1, almost on LMP, almost on the Division 1 pace, so he's definitely going to get promoted next season. And it looks like at the moment, obviously you can't really blame Nick Hash for not turning up because he's had some private issues that he's had to address away from the console, so it looks like Seat 1 will be promoted up, and it looks like Task 1 will be demoted down, so we'll have to see how that goes. There's Techno then, goes round in 5th. Let's have a look, let's check on this, so let's stick with the GT battle for a bit. Callum being caught by TY and Bidzster, so Callum's last lap 150.8, 50.8 for TY and a 48.7 for Bidzster, so Bidzster on the move here. Jamo ahead of these boys, but again using up the fuel because of the pit window that's imminent. So let's see what happens here, but Jamo's going to have to put a bit more fuel in than these boys because Callum, TY and Jamo will have to put more fuel in. Bidzster and Callum will have to put less fuel in because they've got a lot more than the others. Callum's been saving fuel as well to put less in, so good idea there from Callum as we go around this corner. So it'll be the end of the next lap when they pit, or it might be this lap. We'll have to see what they're going to do. Look back to Seat 1's about to catch these boys as well. Rodders at the first chicane, he's about to lap Neil. Firepower 136.6, his fastest lap of the race, and a 38.0 for Stacker, so Firepower, if anything, catching up his teammate, pulling away from Stacker, so Firepower on the move here. So let's have a look at the GT battle then. Callum then in 7th, Jamo leading, Callum in 2nd in class. Bidzster now 3rd in front of TY, so TY, obviously, his teammate's gone in front, so Bidzster now free to chase down Callum. Let's see if any of them pit this lap, or they're going to try and run it out to the end of the pit window, so it's between 12 and 16, remember. There goes Jamo, he's gone through, so they're all going to pit on the last lap of the pit window then. Bidzster goes through TY as well, and Task 1 back there as well, but he's pitted within the pit window, so has he? 12, 16, no he hasn't actually, sorry, beg your pardon. So it's only Neil that's pitted within the pit window, he's done the mandatory pit. So that could work out for Neil, but we'll have to see because he'll be quite slow towards the end of the race with that one-stop strategy because of the tyres. So Jamo pulling ahead then, 150.1, 151.1 150.5 for Callum, 150.6 for Bidzster. So Bidzster closing up here. Seat 1 goes past on the outside in the Porsche. Straight past, doesn't impede the GTE, just goes straight past round Curva Grande. Good job there by Seek. And into the chicane we go. So Bidzster trying to catch up to Callum here over the curbs, pushing hard. Closer, 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 but this is the in-lap, remember. We go round the first Lesmo, then the second Lesmo. Goes a bit wide there as Bidzster will catch up here, but Techno's in the pits, so Techno's in for his well, it's a bit of a late stop. It's but he did pit on lap 12, so that's fine. He did pit on lap 12, so this is just an extra stop for Techno. Stacker then in for 36.4. So Stacker's finally got his head in the game, 36.4, so he's on a good pace here, because Firepower's fastest lap is a 36.6. So good job there by Stacker, and as Rodder's ahead. Seat 1, let's have a look at the GT battle then, because they're going to be all coming into the pits this time for the mandatory stops. So Jamo is going to be first in, he's got about an eighth of a tank left. Callum's coming through, he's got a third of a tank left. Bidzster's on a quarter, so he's TY. And Task 1's a bit further back anyway, he's out of this. So here we go then, it is pit stop time for the GTE boys. Jamo's up on the jacks and he's got his tyres done, fuel's going in. TY's just pulling into his box, Callum's tyre changes, down off the jacks, fuel going in for Bidzster as well. This is going to be close. Jamo was the first in. Who's going to be the first to leave? Let's just wait and watch in suspense. As Jamo's out first, Callum. Bidzster's out, where's TY? TY's out last I think, so it's going to be Jamo, Callum, Bidzster. Neil Farmack comes through in 9th, and where's TY? There's TY, so he's coming through, it's going to be close with Neil. Neil gets him, so Neil gets ahead on the one-stop strategy, so it might work out for Neil here, but you never know. He's got to make that fuel last, so I don't think he'll be on the pace of these boys at the end, but good effort for trying though, Neil, and but it's not over yet. You never know, these guys could screw things up, you never know. So Jamo in the lead of GT then after the pit window. So let's run you through the order then. So Seat 1 in the lead by a country mile in LMP1 on lap 19. Rodder's on lap 19 as well, he's in second place. And it's quite a big gap to Seat 1 the leader, but his teammates just behind him there, Firepower. So Firepower with a good pace in this one. And Stacker's starting to close up on the two Jorex cars now, so that could be a little battle waiting to develop near the end of the race. Techno in 5th in class and last unfortunately in the Division 2. And then Division 1 GTE, it's side by side for the lead with Jamo and Callum. Bidzster trying to close up on this as well, so all these boys now, they know they're going to get to the end of the race, so it's flat out to the end. As Callum goes round the outside of Jamo into the Scari, brave move there from Callum, clearly wanting to get on with the job. And now Bidzster's got to try and get past Jamo as well to keep with Callum, but Jamo wants to keep with Callum just as much as well. So down the straight we go, towards Parabolica. Look how much the Porsche loses in a straight line over the Corvette and the Nissan. And then round the corners, the Porsche can take much tighter lines. Look at that from Bidzster. Takes such a tighter line, gets a good run out the corner, and then gets in the draft of the other two boys to try and keep with them on the straight. Meanwhile, Neil's further back with TY, so Neil and TY battling further back as well, but Neil's got to save a lot more fuel than TY here. But you never know, because it depends how many times Seat 1's going to lap him. So let's go up towards the front, then it's Callum, Jamo, Bidzster in the lead of GTE. This is the battle to watch at the minute, because all the rest of the guys on track are a bit more spread out for now as we go up and out of the first chicane. We'll just have a brief look at the others. So there's Rodder's, Firepower and Stacker, so they're all still a corner apart, so not quite close enough yet. It's Callum then in the lead, Jamo being pressured by Bidzster here into the second chicane. Bidzster has a little look just to try and put him off, apply the pressure as they go over the curbs. Oh, Bidzster pushing really hard there, squirming out the corner. Neil Farmack is still ahead of TY here, so Neil Farmack doing a good job to fend off TY with all the tyres. So you've got to wonder if it's a matter of time because of how the rubber's going to be towards the end of the race. We'll have to see. As Task 1 further back, he's only just going around Curva Grande, so not the best season for Task 1 in this one, but hopefully next season he'll be able to fight back with a sprint race format. As we go around here, so Seek 1 in the lead by, well, I would imagine it'd probably be about a 28-second gap, 30-second gap, something like that. because Rodders is only just going to the edge, about a 30-second gap. As Firepower's in! Firepower's in the pits! Where's Stacker? Stacker goes through, so why is Firepower pitting? Oh, he doesn't feel like he's got the fuel to go to the end, so he's going to top off with fuel a bit, I think. Is it? There he goes. So there goes Techno, so Stacker's waving from now. So Firepower, why did he pit there? He's not exactly like he's put much fuel in, so... Oh well, Firepower running it for himself there, because he could have really made it to the end of the race there, because look at Stacker's fuel. I mean, I know Stacker's got a bit more fuel in, but all Firepower had to do was just turn down the engine a little bit and he would have got to the end, but obviously Firepower wanted to put more fuel in and try and use a bit more pace, so we'll see what happens as Rodders then second, Stacker promoted to third, Firepower back down to fourth. As we look at the GT boys then, Callum being reeled in now by Bidzster, who's passed Jamo. So Bidzster passes Jamo and then he's into second place, now trying to catch up to Callum. Meanwhile, Techno's trying to pass these boys as well, so Neil Farmack and TY closing up, so the leaders are clearly holding each other up or trying to save a bit of fuel or do something as Techno goes up to the back of Jamo, waits until he gets out the corner. Good, sensible stuff as Neil Farmack repasses Techno because he braked that early, and then Techno says, stuff you, I'm passing you again. Straight past him. Bidzster there behind Callum. Oh, Techno's off in the background. Techno's gone off, clearly pushing too hard to pass the lap traffic. There's Callum then, with Bidzster right behind him now, so Bidzster putting the pressure onto Callum here, just like race 1 repeated, except in different cars. We go up to Ascari then. Just right on board with Callum and look back at Bidzster chasing us. Out of Ascari, Bidzster able to use a lot more curb in that portion and gets onto the straight, and this is where the Corvette pulls away a little bit. You can see him here pulling away from Bidzster, can't quite stay with him in the draft. We go down to Parabolica then. Around Parabolica we go, and out to the other side, the Porsche will close in on the corner, the Corvette will pull away out the corner. Get on the power, 135 mile an hour, 135 mile an hour, so about the same on speed in the draft. Bidzster trying to close up here. He's definitely got an overspeed. Well, he's got some kind of. He's only just able to stay with the Corvette. Actually, he's not got any overspeed. 47.9, fastest lap of the fastest personal lap of the race for Bidzster. As they've got blue flags as the other cars are approaching. It's Techno again trying to get past these boys like he did last lap. Meanwhile, further back, Neil Farmack and TY still having a ding-dong battle back here, but I don't know whether Neil's going to have enough fuel to finish the race. TY's got 3/4 and Neil's only got 1/4, so we'll have to see what's going to happen here. Callum and Bidzster still battling it out up front. The LP1 boys are a bit more spread out, so we'll stick with this action on track here in GTE. See blue flags waving there, but there's no blue flags in this. So obviously the game thinks there is, but there's not in our little league thing. For multi-class races, you get blue flags within your own class, but not when it's another class trying to pass you. They've got to try and do it when they can. No blue flags as Callum and Bidzster go around. Obviously that blue flag thing is the lack of blue flag thing is to try and keep the racing nice and good, because if the GT boys are that busy focusing on blue flags, the racing will dissipate within the class. So it's a lot easier for the LMP1 boys just to wait, be patient, try and find a way through as Callum pushes really hard into Ascari there, pushes the back end of the car out and just has to correct a slide. Bidzster closes right up but can't quite make the move because he's not got any room to, because they had a sideways yellow Corvette in front of him, so he couldn't really do anything about that. So down towards Parabolica then. See what lap Sequon's on. He's on 23 out of 27 and he's catching up to the GT boys as well. Rodders is only just approaching the first Lesmo as Stacker then approaching Rodders. So Stacker then has been pushing hard, and here we go. He's passing him for second place. He's up the inside, side by side. Rodders goes around the outside. Stacker nowhere to go. So Stacker and Rodders then almost contact there, but Stacker's been closing. Rodders in the 38s, 39s, and Stacker in the 37s, 2 seconds a lap quicker. So Stacker then, the man with the pace at the minute in LMP1, trying to catch up to Rodders. Firepower's thrown it away from himself with his strategy, because look at the fuel. He could have got to the end of the race, probably, maybe if he did a pit stop and put half in, but he put just over half. But yeah, Firepower not helping himself out with strategies here. As Rodders then about to be passed by Stacker up the inside. Stacker goes up the inside, Rodders gives him space, Stacker goes right up the inside. Rodders goes really wide off the track, gives him an acre of room. and then goes through into second place goes Stacker. So Stacker into second place then. Rodder's now in the draft, but remember, he's looked at the fuel though, he's only got just under a quarter of a tank, so you've got to think Rodder's going to have to pit here. So the Porsche Marlboro team, a lot better on fuel, and Seat 1's working his way through the GTE traffic now, up front, so about to pass Jamo there. Meanwhile, Callum and Bidzster still battling at it in GTE for the GTE win. So these two battling for the Division 1 top points at the minute, not much in it. It's in the favour of Callum at the minute, so there's about a 10 point, 15 point difference to Callum, so see what Bidzster can do about that. As we go down to Parabolica then, and Seat 1 has just gone through. Callum running wide onto the dirt, Bidzster following him, just pushing as hard as they can to try and get each other close as they go across the line. Seat 1's on lap 25 now. So 3 laps left in this race for Seek. These two still battling at it. Callum defends the inside from Bidzster. Bidzster behind. Goes to the right hand side to try and get a good run out of the corner. Look at the run he's got out of the corner there. Gets on the power to try and steer with the Corvette out of the corner. So Bidzster really having to take adapting lines here to try and steer with that Corvette to be close enough for a move on the straight, and he's doing it because Callum's having to go the long way around because Bidzster's just got his nose up the inside. Bidzster takes a slightly shorter route around the corner. Callum on the inside for the next chicane though. He'll have the defensive line. Goes into the corner and he does defend the line. Will Bidzster go for another cut back? He tries, but he gets a big dose of oversteer. Meanwhile, Rodders is in the pit, so Rodders does have to pit. Firepower goes up to third, so his teammates ahead of him now. So Rodders then, unfortunately on strategy, blowing it like his teammates. So the Jorex team really need to have a revised strategy about the fuel, because it's not helping them here. So they need to practice fuel saving or practice the strategies as Rodders goes over the pit lane white line again. So Rodders will probably, well, he might end up at this rate carrying a penalty into the next race for dangerous driving, because you can't go over the pit lane white line, it's not allowed. So we'll have to watch out for that as Seat 1 then comes down to Parabolica to start his penultimate lap of the race. Stacker then in second place, got traffic in the name of Task 1, but it shouldn't be too much of a trouble. Out of this corner, keep to the right, squirt past on hybrid power, there we go. That's the difference between 1,000 horsepower and about 500 horsepower, so there we go. Firepower in third, about to go around the same corner, and his next target's Task 1 to lap as well. Rodders out the pits with more than enough fuel to finish the race there, so I don't know why he pitted. He could have got to the end if he saved enough fuel. Techno with the fastest lap of the race in LMP1 of 34.4 on lap 19 on the right hand side of your screen there. 134.4, and he's gone faster again. So Techno finally finding his rhythm in this car, but it's a bit late as Callum and Bidzster still side by side into the first corner. Every time I look back to these boys, they're always nose to tail or side by side, either or. But Jamo and TY are starting to close on these boys as well. So we'll have to watch this space here as Jamo and TY having a good ding-dong battle here as well. They've left Neil standing, so look at Neil's fuel, he's running really low on fuel here, so he's going to have to, he might even have to pit for a splash and dash here, we'll have to see. But there goes Task 1. Seat 1 goes on to his penultimate, he's on his penultimate lap of the race, he's halfway around it. That's Callum and Bidzster and TY and Jamo then providing the entertainment in the GT category. Jamo defends from TY into the first Lesmo. He keeps the position. Callum defends into the second Lesmo from Bidzster. A bit of contact there on the outside. Bidzster's been a bit over ambitious there, but or Callum giving him the squeeze, either or, both lose a bit of time there. Jamo and TY getting ever closer, but still having their own battle as well. Brilliant stuff this. So Seat 1 then utterly dominant on the way to his last lap of the race as he starts now. Onto the last lap of the race goes Seat 1, his personal best lap of the race, 1:35.8, just to rub it in everyone's face. So there's Stacker in second, he's approaching Neil Farmax, who's definite second for him unless he blows it. Firepower in third, Rodders in fourth. Techno Faith, and then we've got Callum and Bidzster then. This will be this next lap will be the lap, probably the last lap for them. Let's have a look. Yep, Seat 1's on his last lap now, obviously, so this will be the last lap for Callum and Bidzster. Last time to try and pass each other, boys. Let the battle begin as we go down to the first corner. Callum clearly saying he wants the inside line to defend. Bidzster says, okay mate, that's fine, I'll go that way. And Jamo and TY have separated a little bit as Bidzster tries to go around the outside of Callum and get the inside, but no way through. Callum chops in front of that Porsche and says, no you don't, sunshine. Meanwhile, Seat 1's coming out the second Lesmo. He's not far off the finish line, only half a lap away. Neil Farmack's going to have to pit on the last, what would be almost the last lap of the race. Just slightly misjudged the fuel. That's going to leave Task 1 open to take 10th place. So Task 1 just shows you, if you stay in the race, you'll be able to get positions. So it's not over until the checkered flag flies. Neil Farmack just puts enough fuel in just to get to the end, just over 1/8 of a tank to get to the end. So unlucky there for Neil Farmack. But here's Seat 1. Coming towards Parabolica to take an absolutely dominant victory by probably a gap that's over 30 seconds, or probably about over 40 seconds actually, I'd say. Absolutely dominant stuff. Definite promotion for Seat 1 for the next multi-class season. Well done to Seat 1, he wins the race. Well done Seat 1, you win. And then Stacker's not quite there yet. Firepower's closed up on Stacker though. Stacker makes a mistake on the last lap of the race. So Stacker and Firepower are going to close right up here, but look at Bidzster, and Bidzster's ahead of Callum. Bidzster's past Callum. We're going to replay quickly. As we come back from that, Bidzster and Callum then side by side down for the GTE win, down towards the last corner. Bidzster on the inside, Callum on the outside. Oh, this is going to be close. Bidzster brakes, Callum tries to go on the outside. Bidzster gets on the power. Oh, he goes to the white line and pushes Callum over the side, but then he lifts off and Callum keeps his power on round the outside there. Now that was controversial, but Callum takes the win anyway from Bidzster, but that was a bit cheeky there from Callum going over the side of the track like that. Stacker gets second place. Well done to Stacker. Firepower gets third. Rodders is going to be fourth. Techno fifth. Jamo in third place in GTE, and then it's TY in fourth. Task 1's going to be fifth ahead of Neil Farmack, so it just shows you don't give up until the checkered flag flies. And Neil Farmack is unlucky, 11th place overall and last in the class. So we'll just get a replay on that Callum Bidzster last corner. Okay, here's a look at what happened to Bidzster and Callum then from on board with Callum's view. So we're going on the chase cam with Callum, side by side down the straight. See Bidzster only just give him enough room. Down towards Parabolica we go, on the brakes simultaneously. Callum goes around the outside, then Bidzster comes along and then sort of pushed him to the outside a bit. Then Callum goes on the outside and keeps his foot in it and goes right round Bidzster over the white line. So that'll have to be looked at again. And now let's have a look at from Bidzster's point of view. So we're going down to Parabolica, then Callum on his left. Down into Parabolica, brake at the same time into the corner. We go into the corner and then we wait to get the power on. We get the power on and then we just tap Callum a little bit, but then Callum keeps his foot in. We lift off because we think we've hit him off, and then Callum goes through right around the outside and kept his foot in it. So we'll have to see about that. So as we come back from that then, we'll just get those results confirmed for you now, guys. Okay guys, here's the results then. So Seat 1 takes a dominating win there, well done to Seat 1, and Stacker gets on the podium in second place, well done to Stacker, his best finish yet. Firepower gets third, Rodders finishes in fourth, and Techno comes home in fifth. Callum wins the GTE, he gets to keep the win, but he has a 5-second penalty in the next race for intending to overtake round the outside. Bidzster is second, Jamo in 8th overall, 3rd in class, 4th in class TY, and 5th is Task 1, and then 6th is Neil Farmack. Fastest lap, Techno with a 1:34.4. And now over to the points. Seat 1 on 252, Callum on 237, Bidzster on 198, and then 10 points behind him is Rodders on 188, then another 10 points behind is Techno on 178, and as you can see there, 6th, 7th and 8th, very close between all them, 2 points in it. Porsche Marlboro team on 400 points in the lead, Team Art and Team AC Motorsport on 362 apiece. Okay, as we come back from that then, so Callum takes victory in that one, but whether he'll hold on to that victory we'll have to see. So Callum takes the victory there, and in the GTE, and then in LMP 1 in Division 2. Seat 1 with a dominant victory there, and his personal best lap on the his personal best lap on the last lap of the race, so 1:34.6. So we'll see you guys next time for Nürburgring, which is round 6. Take care, guys.